cutting the skin and thinking, that's weird. I don't really feel the skin. Like, I can't feel what I'm doing. My eyes were not open, and I just heard him say the tumor was too big for me to pass the scope by. I was a 3C, meaning that cancer had spread through the lymph nodes. Went home that night and bought a cheap heat press off of Amazon. And I watched a ton of YouTube videos, got cheap vinyl from, I think, Hobby Lobby or Joann's. And we cut vinyl and we made t-shirts. And I think it took me 4 days to make 10 t-shirts. That December, it was slamming busy. Lots of patients, lots of surgery. And I remember at night just thinking, oh, my hands are tired. Oh, but like when you're constantly using them with small instruments, working with small things, they just get tired. Understandable. So I would go to bed thinking I might be getting carpal tunnel, but it wasn't like I couldn't feel my hands. It wasn't like, it was just like they were tired, It's like, probably, in January, I'll see if I need to see somebody about it. Or maybe January when things calm down, it'll be good. It'll be fine. Then the first week in January 2016, I had one case, okay? One tiny little case, and it was a fifth toe arthroplasty. That basically means you have a toe that's curled like this, and all you're doing is you're taking that knuckle out, you're sewing the toe back together. It's a 5-minute procedure, okay? I mean, literally 5 minutes. It takes no time at all. And I remember cutting the skin and thinking, that's weird. I don't really feel the skin. Like, I can't feel what I'm doing. That's weird. But like, I slowed my pace. I was like, okay, maybe my gloves are too tight. So I switched gloves. That wasn't it. So halfway through, I'm already 20 minutes in now thinking, they've got to be thinking I'm crazy because it's taken me so long. I completed the bone work, the everything else, and at the very end, I actually had the scrub tech close the skin for me because I could not feel the instruments in my hand. Like, I couldn't feel them. Like, I couldn't make them work. I could not feel them. And I was panicking. Absolutely panicking.
Is there a system in place, like where something like that happens? You have another surgeon that you can call, like, hey, something's wrong.
I mean, there's plenty of surgeons in the building at that point that,
but
if you're in a situation, especially if it was a much bigger situation,
serious.
You would call whoever is available. For me, if I was in a much bigger situation, I would have called one of the other partners in the practice and said, get over here right now. But I knew we're down to skin. I just, scrub tech can easily, this particular one was incredibly skilled. And so she closed for me. It was 3 stitches, so we're not talking about anything crazy. We got the patient bandaged. I did everything, post-op that I needed to do, talk to the family, and I got in the truck and I lost it. I literally lost it. I was panicking. And I called one of the other partners who's a really good friend of mine. And I was like, I don't know what just happened, but I can't feel my hands. And he was like, what do you mean you can't feel your hands? I'm like, I can't feel my hands. And I was like, I've got cases next week. I can't do them until I figure out what's going on. I need you to do them. And he's like, no problem. I got you. And we did a whole rearrange. And then I called a friend of mine who's a neurologist that I had done surgery on 3 years prior for a funky thing that she had. Cool, super cool thing that she had, to be honest. And I said, I can't feel my hands. She's like, what do you mean you can't feel your hands? I was like, I can't feel my hands. She's like, well, come over to the office and let's see what's going on. I popped over and she did the EMG nerve study. on me in the office. And she was like, Dana, how long has this been going on? And I said, today, like literally today. She's like, you haven't had pain? And I was like, my hands have been sore, like after work, but no problem before that. And she's like, you have severe ulnar neuropathy. And the ulnar nerve comes around your elbow and then gives you the sensation and muscle strength to the third, fourth, and fifth fingers. Okay. I was like, okay. What does that mean? And then she started looking at my hands and she's like, you've lost the muscle mass in your hands. I was like, and she showed me and I was like, well, how can that happen like overnight? She's like, it doesn't. I was like, but I haven't noticed it. And she's like, I don't know what's going on. Well, we got to figure it out. But until we figure it out and do some more testing, obviously you can't do surgery. And I'm like, absolutely,
Is this in both hands?
It was worse on the right, but she did the study on both hands and I had it on both hands. Yeah. And so it was like, it just didn't make sense to me, But as the week went on, the pain in my hand, my right hand, started to really kick in and got very uncomfortable. And I worked with her, did a few more tests and blood work and all kinds of stuff. And she's like, Dana, everything's pointing to severe, unreversible neuropathy. You're done.
It's like a NFL football player telling them, getting an injury, hey, you're never going to play football again.
Yeah.
Because you're at the top of your career.
Yes.
But it's happening in the Super Bowl.
Yes. You're done.
So you spent,
and
15 years in college? 14 years in college?
14 total years of education.
That includes residency.
Yeah.
And you're another 5 years in on your career and done.
Like done.
Just opened a medical center, like a surgery center.
Just built a surgery center. Yeah, it was really hopping. Like we had all kinds of specialties that were now at that surgery center. I mean, it was
just one top dog.
Yeah. Approached by a friend and someone I'd known for 10 years to let's start a management company. Great idea.
What type of management company?
So we were managing other podiatry practices.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, let's do this. This sounds like a great idea. And we talked it through, really kind of hit all the pain points that we could think of, everything that could be a problem.
And you've known him for 10 years.
Yeah, multiple mastermind meetings with them, multiple conferences with them. It just something that just sounded right. Yeah. And so we formed this company and did it with even went to a law firm in Dallas, one of the big guys, big downtown Dallas, high rise kind of guys, law firms, and like threw it out to them and said, yeah, this is a great idea. The concept that we had come up with. And they put together all the documents. And I mean, it was like, we did the big stuff for it. Yeah. Not like, hey, let's legal Zoom this thing. We really checked all the bells and whistles for it. And so we started the management company.
What year?
And that was in 2016. It was like in the summer of 2016. And then we grew fast. So he had practices in New Mexico. And so we managed those first to kind of get the kinks worked out as much as possible. And then brought on another practice outside of Chicago. And then another practice in Roanoke, Virginia. And so we had an office space at Texas Motor Speedway. And it any given time during the kind of a year process there, or timeline, I think at one point we had close to 90 to 100 employees with all of them. And so it grew fast. It grew really fast. And it seemed like it was going to be a good thing. it was the most stressful thing I've ever done because it was out of my comfort zone for several things.
What was the difference? I mean, you already mentioned that the podiatrist business and the business side of it was stressful because of insurance. What about, what about this was more stressful or different?
Multiple things. One was the fact that my role of what we were doing as what we had put together in the company was more the clinical side of it, was rounding out and making the clinical side of practices function better.
Okay.
So the education, the training, the procedures and protocol.
Yeah, so you had experience of actually being a doctor, and you knew how to take the fluff out and make it more efficient.
Yes, how to make it more efficient. Yes, how to make it more efficient. How to make the medical assistants more efficient for the doctors. Like all of that stuff. That was in the marketing side of it. And so, but there was no way to not be in the other side of it, and trying to as you grow, you really should have a point where you're like, okay, we've got this bucket. What does it look like when we go to a different market? And we didn't really plan for what it looked like in a different market because different state, different rules, different concept. And so that it kind of brought us back down a little bit of like, okay, wait, we've got to do something different in Illinois. So we've got to change our wheel a little bit. And so it was stressful. It was definitely stressful. And in the idea of, I knew these people that we were working with. Like, I knew their practices. They were successful practices, but they weren't happy in the business of podiatry or business of medicine either. And so they wanted something different. So I knew the people that we were managing their practices, and I knew that their practices were successful, and I didn't want that to change. I wanted them to be even more successful and not have to work as hard on the business side so that we could take some of that off of them. But it in not having all of our education before we went into their markets, it did add stress to them in the beginning for sure, because we had to kind of learn some of the things that we should have known, to be honest. But we were just moving fast, and we should have slowed the boat just a little bit. And so, but we did our thing, and then early September of 2017, something felt off. Didn't feel right.
So this is just a little over a year later.
Yeah, a little over a year.
So what, say that something felt off, like, can you describe?
Yeah, bills didn't get paid.
Oh, okay.
Was like, what is the deal? What is happening? Like,
some just random bill shows up and it's overdue.
Yeah, I get
over 100 employees, right?
Yeah, and I get a call from like one of the owners of the practice that we were managing, and she's like, "Hey, the gas bill didn't get paid." I'm like, "What do you mean the gas bill didn't get paid?"
So let's look at the company. So what at this time, how many locations do you guys have, and what size? How many employees do you have in this company?
So we had 5 locations in New Mexico, 2 locations in outside of Chicago, and a location in Virginia.
Okay. So
plus the corporate office in Texas.
And then over 100 employees. Mm-hmm. So it's a multi-million-dollar business that's operating and running, probably even higher than that.
Oh, yeah.
And you're getting calls that a gas bill didn't get paid.
Yes.
Okay. So what next?
So it was like, wait a minute. So I called the person that I was in business with, and he was like, "Oh, well, that's interesting. I'll take care of it right away." Okay, please do. And then I get another call. "Hey, Dana, the electricity bill didn't get paid at one of the New Mexico locations." I'm like, what the heck is going on? Then mid-September is when it hit the fan, basically. And I started looking at our accounts, and money that should have been there wasn't there. And I did not know what was about to hit. But as soon as I went into the accounts, figured out that something wasn't right, I call the person and say, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Don't worry, it's okay. We're fine." And next thing I know, money's gone, he's gone. It's not okay.
So, how much of your own money did you invest into this business?
Too much.
You don't have to share exact numbers if you want, but like you could say it was at most of your.
It was I would
It puts you at risk.
easily say at that point I was $250,000 in for sure. And so at that point I had to do something because there was the only money that he didn't take was out of the account that paid the employees, which is weird. Thank God. And so I shut the business and I paid everybody out that I could. And we called and the person that was in charge of our HR happened to be my business partner's son, who I love to this day. This young man, phenomenal human. And I had to be on the phone with him as he called every person that we had to fire and hear them. I mean, the painful lashing that we got of how dare you do this to me? I've got a family to feed. How can you do this to me? This isn't right. I mean, it was like they had no idea and it didn't matter to them that this was happening to us. It was happening to them too, you know? And they did have families to feed. They lived paycheck to paycheck. They had nothing if they didn't have this job. And so it was hard. It was really, really hard. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Like, where's the money? Where's this person? What's happened? And we literally closed the doors to our business, or I did, shut the doors to our business. All of the practices in New Mexico got taken over by another individual that basically they got the term, I don't know how you would say it for a medical practice. I don't remember it at the time. But like if you have a car repoed, same thing happened with the practices. It's almost like the bank came in and said, we're taking your practices. Like he hadn't paid anything on those. He hadn't paid bills for a long time. Yeah.
Well, did you ever find out what he was doing with the money?
No. No idea. Haven't talked to him since. Don't know where he is. Don't care.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I, after
how did his son, I mean, sorry to cut you off. Like, it was probably heartbreaking for him. Like,
yeah.
Like to have to deal with
yeah. Because it wasn't too long after that we found out that this individual had also put things in his son's name and didn't pay for it. And so it was like, how do you do that as a human?
To your own kid.
To your own kid, you know? Mm-hmm. And he his son had a family to feed, and he was the sole provider. And we had a hard conversation. He's like, Dana, I don't know how I'm going to buy diapers next week. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. I got you. I don't know what we're going to do, but I got you. And so through trying to figure out what was going on, I basically paid his son a salary so that he could buy diapers and basically put food on the table until he found something. So I supported his son. Becky and I supported his son until he could
find something.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. It was horrible.
So it
was horrible.
September 17.
Yeah, so that was September 2017. I started getting calls very quickly from the Bank of New Mexico talking to me about being involved in bank fraud, which I was not. I was getting calls from vendors saying they were going to sue me for non-payment for his practices going way back, years back. And as I met with the lawyers again, and the lawyer was awesome. I'm literally in his office heaving, crying. And he was like, I'm surprised too as well. I did not see, he's like, usually I can see these things coming. I didn't see this one coming. He helped me set up things so that I could effectively close things down and set me up with other lawyers to help me deal with the bank fraud and the vendors coming after me, and literally had those people in place, help me get those people in place. But none of that was free, and I didn't know how to fix it. So I basically spent a lot of time in bed crying, trying to figure out why Becky even wanted to stay with me. Why do you want to stay with somebody like me? I've literally ruined us. Why do you want to stay? And I told her several times, it's okay if you want to go. I get it. Because I get it. I'm a horrible human being. That's what I kept telling her. Sorry. So, that Christmas was not our happiest Christmas for sure. And then we get, like, we're actually having Christmas dinner. And I remember thinking, oh God, I don't feel good. Not like I'm got the flu or a cold or something. I just don't feel good. And I was bloated, and I could not eat more than like a couple of bites of food. And I was like, it's just so stressed. I, let's get this behind us and I'll feel so much better. And then, first week in January, I was just so uncomfortable. And Becky was like, will you just go see your doctor and figure out what's going on? And I'm like, it's fine. And I'm a doctor, so I'm gonna like diagnose myself.
Yeah. Well,
And
I don't
she's
know
like, no, you gotta go.
if it's my understanding, if this is correct, typically doctors don't have medical insurance. Is that correct? Like usually it's you network with other doctors that kind of treat each other. Is that how that goes?
No, you have
okay.
insurance, yeah. But if you see another doc, it's usually courtesy.
Okay.
It's just what we did. Yes, Blue Cross Blue Shield, that's what we do. But you also treat yourself.
Yeah.
You internally tell yourself, like, you come up with all these things in your head. Oh yeah. And for the longest time I was like, oh, I'm just constipated. Whatever, I'm just constipated. Stuck poop. That's what it is. Oh, I'm just bloated, And I've always had like acid reflux my whole life. I was born with it. So GI to me was like, whatever, it'll go away. It's fine. It's fine. And Becky was like, stop. Just go. I'm like, okay, I'll go. So made an appointment with a GI doc. I hadn't seen him before. He was new for me. And so he's like, you know what? Let's just do an upper and lower endoscopy, see what's going on. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but let's just see. He's like, I don't think it's anything. It's probably just your reflux, but he's like, it sounds like you're a little stressed. He didn't know the story. He's like, but, I had told him I'd just recently retired. And he's like, it sounds like you're stressed. It's probably that. Okay. January 8th, 2018, I go in for EGD. So that's your upper endoscopy where they look down your throat into your stomach, and then colonoscopy at the same time. And I remember being in the recovery room, and my eyes were not open, and I'm laying on my side, and I know Becky and our best friend Michelle was there too as well. She came just to hang out because that's what she did. And I remember them sitting there, and my eyes were not open, and I just heard him say, the tumor was too big for me to pass the scope by. I was like, tumor? what? And then he said, the cancer. What the? Kidding me? And then I still didn't open my eyes, and I just cried. Was like, are you, what? So we left, and I don't even think I said 4 words. It's just shock. Like, what do you do? Like, you don't ever, ever, ever in your life think you're going to hear those words. It's going to happen to somebody else. We all know it will, but it's not going to happen to me. Like, I'm Dana. I'm bright and shiny. Are you kidding me? I'm the life of the party. I don't get that stuff. And so, I was numb, literally numb. I don't think I said 10 words afterwards. And then I think I panicked and was like, what do I do? What do I do? And, this particular GI doc, again, I didn't know him, referred me to a surgeon to go see and an oncologist. And the next morning, Becky had said, Dana, I got a call from one of my old partners in the practice, and she said, make sure you call Cliff Cox. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I sat on the board with Cliff Cox at Baylor, Scott and White in Grapevine on a hospital board. And he's a phenomenal colorectal surgeon, a friend of mine. But, when you hear those words, you blank out completely. You don't know. You're just lost. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I called Cliff. Cliff just got this diagnosis. He says, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, okay. And then it hit me. I also know a phenomenal oncologist. So I call Heidi Jordan. I said, Heidi, just got this diagnosis. And she said, I'll see you when you're done with Cliff. I said, okay. Okay. So I had my people that I knew it was gonna be okay, but I was still numb. I was still in that, okay, you say I have cancer, I'm not too sure about that, but okay, I'll go with it for now. Saw Cliff, had my CT scans. I had a tumor blocking my ascending colon at 99%, meaning it was 99% closed. So he said, had I not gone in, had I had a blockage, it's possible that I would not be here. So I got lucky, basically. And all of this is happening before I'm of age to have a colonoscopy, a standard colonoscopy to find this stuff, This is all when I was 45, 46. So 2 weeks after I was diagnosed, I had surgery. And again, because I was a surgeon, I knew who I wanted my anesthesiologist to be. And at that hospital, there was no doubt Dave DiGiovanni was going to be my anesthesiologist because we've been on vacation together. We're friends. So I called Dave. Dave, guess what? And he was like, are you kidding me, Dana? And I was like, no kidding, but you're going to be there. He's like, absolutely, 100%. I will take care of you. So I won't ever forget. My whole team is together that morning, and I'm scared shitless because I have no idea what's about to happen. And honestly, the scary part for me was that I didn't know if I was going to end up with a permanent colostomy bag. Was that going to be something I woke up with? Because he didn't know either. He was honest. He's like, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. He goes, I'll do everything I can for it not to happen. But I was like, oh my God, how am I going to live with that? How am I going to survive with that? Never in my mind up to that point did I think it just still hadn't hit me that I had cancer. I knew I had a tumor that had to come out. So I was still thinking surgery brain. I was still thinking that
still being a fixer.
I was a fixer. So we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. And so the whole team was there, like the whole team Dana was there. And my quick surgery ended up being, I think, 4 or 5 hours. It was robotic, which is cool. And Dave had sent Becky a picture of the Da Vinci robot before I was wheeled in there and said, hey, okay, we got her. And this is what, because I even said, I want to know what it looks like. Like, still, I'm in that concept. I want to know what it looks like. And so, and then Dave would text Becky, everything's going great. She's doing great. Like, he stayed in touch with her to make sure that she was okay, but then to let everybody else know that it's all going okay. And so, Cliff Cox did an amazing job. And he told Becky afterwards, I wasn't leaving until I got it all. I wasn't going to leave my friend until I had gotten it all. And he did. 27 inches of my colon, which we have plenty of colon, so it's not like
got some extra to go
I got
around.
plenty extra, but we call it my short colon now. But yeah, so 27 inches later, and so I'm gonna tell you guys a funny story now. Okay,
you're making me.
Okay, you ready?
Give you some levity.
Yeah, give me, because
okay.
I know.
Okay.
What you just shared. I'm sitting here crying like a big man child because
you know what's coming.
I know that feeling. I went in for a heart scan because I had some pain in my chest while doing jiu-jitsu. And the doctor was like, you're in great shape. Like, you've been doing everything you need to do. You're going to be, we're just going to check it, right? We're sure it's fine. And I wake up in a room with 10 people telling me I have to have emergency heart surgery.
Yeah.
But my widowmaker's blocked 99%. I just turned 35. And I'm thinking of my 12-year-old son, a newborn baby. I mean, he was 5 months, 6 months, 7 months old at the time. And I had this whole life that I am the provider for.
Right.
That I'm responsible for this life for these people.
Right.
And like, there's a chance I cannot make it. There's a chance like that it's emergency. Like I know that feeling and that feeling of shock. Like me, I remember, and you'll probably laugh at this being a doctor. The doctor came in and I'm coming to from anesthesia. I'm out because they stuck the little thing in my arm and the heart cat. And the doctor starts, poor doc, he's still my cardiologist, I love him to death. But poor doc goes and starts drawing on a whiteboard of like trying to show me like what is wrong. And I'm like, I don't want to see your drawings on a board. Like, I don't believe you. Give me the, like, did y'all just take some camera footage? I'm like, I want to see this. Like, I lost my It's like, what, you think you're a dry erase board drawing? Like, so he's like, okay, Mr. Bookman. Like, he was so nice and so kind because I was just in such a...
Losing it, right?
I was losing my...
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not having surgery. I'm not doing this. Like, there's something. Kyle came and saw me and he's like, dude, this is like... I still wasn't convinced, right? And they're not letting me leave the hospital because they're like, you walk out of here, you're dead.
Yeah.
And I know that like your life, everything that has happened in your life, all your successes, all your failures, none of it matters when you're sitting on that bed And you're thinking, man, I just want to make it to tomorrow.
Right.
Like, life is so precious.
Right.
Right? Like, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Cut me off here.
No, because I knew we would have that same connection, because you very rarely in your life will you ever face it where you're faced with your own mortality.
And I thought I was immortal.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
And to my kids, I am. To my son, I'm this superhuman being that's done this, provided this, and to be knocked down, and it's so humbling, and it makes you so thankful for everyone around you.
It does.
And you just want to surround yourself by love.
And that's all you want around you.
Yeah.
That is it. You just want love. You just want those people that you're the closest to be with you. And nobody else. That's it. Nobody else.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That circle gets real small.
So small.
Yeah.
Like I got rid of so many people that they were acquaintances that all of a sudden wanted to be my best friend for weird reasons, you know? It's like I got this diagnosis, and then people found out, and they're like, I got all these calls, which I appreciate. I don't mind that. But then all of a sudden it was like, well, let me tell you how to get rid of your cancer. You need to stop eating sugar, and you need to do this, and I'm like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me?
So
No,
much water
go
right
away.
Yeah.
Go away. Because it's not your diagnosis. You don't have it. So, no. Forget it. Go away. Yeah, I truly only had the people that I knew were going to be there for me, were going to be there for Becky, that were going to get us through this. That was the only way we were going to get through it. Because they had already been through it with us with the other thing just before. Just 4 months before, they were a part of the total show. And then, oh, well, let's add this onto it. As our good friend, who was also our neighbor, said, he's like, Dana, you guys have the biggest black cloud over your house. Like, yeah, no kidding, John.
Yeah.
We do. We really do. We do. So, okay, my funny story.
Yeah, let's hear it. Sorry.
Okay. I wake up out of anesthesia, and I'm still in the recovery room, okay? And I know the nurses there, right? So I wake up, and you know how you wake up from surgery, you're groggy, and you're, like, trying to open your eyes, like, Well, David gave me some good drugs, really good stuff, okay? And I woke up, I hadn't said anything yet, and all I could see were ghosts, okay? Hundreds of ghosts, but not like scary ghosts, like, like little kid cartoon ghosts, and it looks like a white sheet and it's two black eyes, you know, and they're all like Casper ghosts, and they're all floating like this.
Okay.
And I was like, I didn't make it. I'm dead. I'm dead. I didn't know everybody looked like this. Is weird. What do I do? I was terrified because I was like, I thought I'd recognize people. And everybody looks like this. And so I remember speaking. I was like, hello? And then the nurse came over and patted me, and like I opened my eyes again, and they were gone, and I could see her, and I was like, am I okay? Am I okay? She's like, you're totally okay, Dana. We got you. You're totally okay. Surgery went great. You're fine. You're in recovery. And I'm like, okay. Okay. I'm good. I'm all right, you know? But yeah, so I was pretty sure I had entered some realm post-life that's what I was going to see was ghosts. Yes, so I was happy to know that it was not happening. But yeah, I can vividly see them still. That's
funny.
It's crazy. So, yeah. No, so I fell asleep after that, and I woke up in my room, and on the hospital floor, and Becky and our best friend Jennifer had stayed with me, and I remember asking the nurse. She had come in to do vitals, and I remember asking the nurse where I was, and she's like, "Well, you're in your hospital room." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, what floor am I on?" Again, because I knew the hospital. I'd practiced. I'd done numerous surgeries there, seen several patients on the floor there, so I knew the hospital. And I was wanting to know which med surge floor I was on, because then I might know the team that was on for the night. And so I said, "What floor am I on?" And she said, "You're on the oncology floor." I was like, "I have cancer." And that's when it hit me. I have cancer. Because you go on the oncology floor when you have cancer. You don't go on the oncology floor when you just have surgery. Fuck, I have cancer. Okay. Okay, it's real. It was so sweet. My my room, I think the second day I was there, maybe third day, I can't remember, but I did great post-op. I felt good. I felt better than I felt in a long time. I didn't know how bad I felt. Like, I truly didn't, because everything else that was going on. I did not know.
Stress and everything else going on.
Yeah, you just
par for the course.
Yeah. I was really feeling good, other than surgery pain, But at one point, my room became this, like, party. There had to have been 30 people in my room. They all just kinda ended up showing up at the same time. So it was docs that I'd practiced with. It was friends that were in the area. It was hospital administrators that I'd known forever. Like, you name it. Everybody kinda showed up at once. It was wild. And the village, we can talk about the village in a second, but it was those close, my tight group we call the village, and they were all there. And it it was like, a boost to my energy for sure. It was like, "Okay, it's a party." It's like, I'm gonna forget what I've got going on, and everybody's happy and joking, but then the nurse actually, I think, came and busted up the party, if I remember right. She's like, "You guys are way too loud in here. Like, this is like, okay, okay, okay." I'm not one to just sit around and do nothing. And so, during the time frame of recovering, we would go, or when I felt good, we would go to estate sales. And it was fun. We loved it. And so we were like, "You know what? We can do this. We can start our own estate sale company." And we did. It was great. We had fun. We were really good at it. It was kicking our butt, but we were really good at it. But in the midst of that, I was like, "I gotta do something, gotta make something." And so I bought a little Cricut machine, which is a tiny little vinyl cutter, and I was making signs. I was like, "Oh, you see people on Etsy and Pinterest. I'll make signs, be fun, throw them out, sell them if I sell them, if I don't, whatever." And one day we were at our favorite Mexican food restaurant in Justin, and one of the owners says, "Hey, can you guys make T-shirts? Because we need new T-shirts." And we're like, "Yeah, you do, because yours are horrible." They were horrible. They had to be 5 years old.
Only Mexican food restaurant in Justin, Texas, by the way.
It is.
And margaritas.
So
Shout out to
good.
margaritas.
Shout
So
out to
good.
margaritas.
Love them.
And I was like, "No, but we'll figure it out." And so we went home that night and bought a cheap heat press off of Amazon. And I watched a ton of YouTube videos, got cheap vinyl from, I think Hobby Lobby or Joann's, and we cut vinyl and we made T-shirts, and I think it took me 4 days to make 10 T-shirts, and they loved them. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this is," and all it said was Margarita's Mexican Restaurant, Justin, Texas. That's it. No design, nothing on the back. That's all it said on the front. That's it. And they were like, "These are the best shirts ever." I'm like, "I'm glad you like it." Well, because they had new shirts and it was obviously better than what they had before, people asked, hey, where'd you get your shirts? And they would say, oh, Becky and Dana made them. Like, oh, well, I need new shirts for my company. I wonder if they would make them for me. And so they would send people our way, and then somebody, would call and say, hey, can you make a shirt for me? Well, if it was 1 to 2, max 3 colors, I could do it. But if it was full color, I had no idea how to do a full color logo on somebody's shirt. So, again, research, education, getting into, okay, how do you do this? I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to learn.
I'm assuming YouTube was the answer to most of these.
YouTube was the answer to almost all of my questions until I got into other Facebook groups, like apparel decorator groups and that kind of stuff that I didn't even know existed. And this whole world opened up that I'm like, you can do that? That's how you do that? We can do that? No problem. And we upgraded our equipment when we found a vendor type like conference that we could go to locally, and it like totally game changer. Was like, whoa, like that's a heat press. Whoa, that's a vinyl cutter. And so we took our tiny little business of what we had and just boom, exploded it from there. And now we have 2 commercial heat presses, a hat press, commercial vinyl cutter, and just last year added a 2-head 20-needle embroidery machine. And learned it all from YouTube.
And that's such an important, that I just, if I would have had this when I was younger, it would have been so awesome to have the power. Like YouTube just didn't exist back when I was trying to do business as it is now, the advantage, but YouTube can pretty much teach you anything you need or close to it. And then you hit another key point is Facebook. There's apps like Meetup. And there's groups of individuals that all they do is they join and make a group, and you go in and say, hey, I've got this problem. How do you guys fix it? And there is a wealth of knowledge out there for free that will get on there and be like, oh, I do that. You can pay me 40 cents a hat and I'll take care of it for you and just send me your information. Or this is how I did it. You choose. And then it's you as the business owner look at it and think, okay, I can do this, or I can sub it out. And then you're still fulfilling your pipeline of business. And pick a business that's out there, roofing, anything,
whatever it might be. Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how did you know so you go from estate sales, you're making t-shirts, and then you're learning, how did you pivot, and when did you know, what was the crucial point that said, okay, this is my next venture. This is my business. This is what's going to now provide an income for me and Becky. This is our life from now. What was that turning point like?
It was when we figured out that that t-shirt business, because that's really what it was in the beginning, was just t-shirts, was making more money than the actual estate sale company. Like, some people would say, well, why didn't you just do them both? It was impossible to do both unless we hired a team to do that over there that we would have to trust like crazy, which we were doing it to have fun. And it was our village that was doing it. Like, we were all friends doing it together, so we were having fun. We did not want to have to hire a team that we may or may not trust, that may or may not do it the way we wanted them to do it. And then the other side of it was just it was tiring, and it was a lot of grueling work, and we were really enjoying working at home. It was fun to work at home. It was fun to make somebody's t-shirt in my pajamas. I mean, I didn't have to go somewhere. It was kind of nice, And then 2020 comes around, and nobody was going anywhere anyway.
Right.
So you would think our business tanked. And in reality, it was the other way around, because our landscapers were working because they could be outside. And everybody was at home looking at their backyard going, oh, now's the perfect time. I want to change all this stuff up. So all our landscapers were calling us going, Dana, I need more shirts. Dana, I need more hats. Dana, can you get me this? Yeah, happily. Absolutely. Your air conditioner goes out during COVID. Well, the AC guy still had to show up. So roofer, landscaper told the AC guy about us. So we grew in 2020 versus some people tanked in 2020. Yeah. So we were lucky in that regards. Yeah. And then we went from that to doing online stores. And then once we started online stores, it exploded.
What was the learning curve for that?
It wasn't that bad, believe it or not. Like, it was honestly pretty simple. Once we figured out how to create an online company store and we found the right company software to work with, once we did that, then it was easy because you can just replicate them over and over again quickly. And we can then reach out to you and say, hey, if you make it easy for you. We have no minimum, so that was another selling point because you didn't have to buy 24 or 48 shirts that you'll never use. You just need one, you get one. That's fine. Yeah, it
And I'm
was awesome.
assuming when you say stores, you take a company, let's say our company, repairyourroof.com, wants T-shirts or hats. You create an online digital catalog for us, and when we need them, we just go and click on order it. You guys
Exactly.
get the order, and we get it fulfilled.
Exactly.
And you do that, and you can just replicate that
Over and over and
infinitely
over.
to any
Right.
other business.
Yeah. And it's easy to make changes. If you're like, you know what, we've changed our logo to orange and purple. No problem. Boom, orange and purple, done.
And then you guys just see an order come through the system, fulfill it, ship
Mhm.
it out.
You
It's
got it.
awesome.
You got it. And because we decorate in-house, we have control over the quality and we have control over the time. And so we try to get it out as fast as possible. So our goal is between a 5 to 7 working day turnaround whenever possible. Yeah.
Which, in our experience, I mean, typical for us, I would say 2 weeks is generally, so you're 7 days faster than most people that
Yeah.
just
We
because it's
try
out
to be.
in-house. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And then so after working with people just like you would also come to us and say, "Hey, do you guys do like something I can give away? Like, do you do pins?" At the time we didn't. I didn't even know how to do pins. But again, I got into one of my Facebook groups and it's like, "Hey, anybody in here also do pins?" And and I
Mm.
got the wealth of knowledge that I needed to get into that part of the business as well. And so now we are a kind of a full service. That's why we're called One Stop Promotional Products, is because it's your one stop. Even if we don't do the thing like neon signs, we don't do neon signs, but I know somebody who does, and I'll connect you with that person. So you don't have to do the research. I know exactly who I'm going to call that says, hey, I'm going to connect you for that particular product. But we say for the most part, the only thing we don't do is neon signs and car wraps.
So let's talk about scaling this company because you go from $3 to, you know, mid six-figure business, right? But obviously, there's some learning in there. There's some things that change, and I know a few of them. But you go from just word of mouth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Of, hey, I use this. Who made your t-shirts? Who made your hats? From company to company, and now y'all expand,
Right.
and now you're about to open up your own facility.
Right.
What does that growth look like, and how did you experience that growth? How did you get there?
So the word of mouth is huge. That's one piece of it. But the other piece of it was going to networking places, networking groups, and getting our name out there. It's not like it just appeared and it happened. You There's work. There's a crap ton of work involved on the back end. But I will say what truly exploded our business was finding the Argyle Business Association, that networking meeting. We had a client of ours that kept saying, "You gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go." And we were like, "Oh my gosh, it can't be like the other ones we've been to." Because we've been to other ones that were okay, or they say, "Oh, we're gonna support your business. We got you. Yes, we love you. Come on in. Please pay the $600 to be a part of us, but we're gonna support you like crazy." And then we did it and we got nothing out of it. We got no support. And so it was like, okay, I'm not doing another one of those. No, forget it, forget it. So finally, she hounded us enough. I came in. Becky was like, "I'm not even going. You go, but we're not signing up. We're not doing it." I'm like, "Okay, I totally agree. I'm just gonna go check it out so Christine will stop hounding us." Okay, right, fine. I go, and it was I thought I was early, and I got here at like I don't know, right at 8:00, and I thought I was, okay, I'm good. And everybody, like the room was packed. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And it had already started on time. Like, what is that about, And boom, here we go. And I'm like, okay, this is all right. all right, here we go. And when we had to stand up and introduce ourselves, give a 15-second presentation, which I wasn't prepared for, so I'm not even sure what came out of my mouth on that first one. And when I said who I was and what I was there for, I remember Lynn, who created this amazing networking meeting, said, "Oh my gosh, Dana, we've been waiting for you." You have? Okay. Well, I'm here. I'm ready. And before I left that meeting, I had already been approached by 5 companies that said, we need your services. And you could just feel the room was different. The networking was different. The energy was different than any other business meeting I'd ever been to. I was like, okay. And truly, that afternoon, I'd already sold 3 times more than what it had cost us to join. So obviously, we joined that day, but
Yeah.
I'd already sold 3 times more.
You got to call Becky and be like, hey, sorry, we're joining this one.
Yeah, I did. I called her on the way home, and I'm like, you are not going to believe this, but we're doing it. We're doing it.
You're coming to this next week.
Yeah, exactly. And she did. And she was like, yeah, you're right. This is amazing. This is amazing.
I don't want to, I mean, the ABA is an awesome organization, but not everybody that's going to watch this is going to that can come join the ABA.
Right.
But if they can,
Right.
awesome, get out here, Argyle, Texas. Your company will explode. This is an amazing group. And truly, by 8 o'clock, if you're not in here, there's
Not a
60
seat.
people. There's not a seat. You're not
Oh,
having
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But and the more people that watch this and the more podcasts we have, they're going to get sick of hearing this, but we're going to say it every single time. You have to network. And if you do not network, you will not succeed in business no matter what. And if you want to succeed, go find a group of people in your area where you're at and start networking with those people and you will succeed. But if you don't go do it, it's so much harder.
You talked about it earlier. You're like, you don't just become a doctor and all of a sudden patients start showing up.
Right. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Luckily you had a practice to go into that had a network.
And there's so many, we've talked about 3 different ways to network. You can go on YouTube and you can network. You can go to Facebook and network. You can go physically in person. There's literally so much, a wealth of information out there for free, even before you get to these paid memberships that are here, like with ABA, where it costs money. And that's something to talk about too, is sometimes you do have a cost. But not always, because I've paid for memberships like you have, and it's been like, this is not worth it. But typically quality costs more than something that's free. And so finding a group and being willing to pay for it, just do your due diligence before you go pay for it and make sure the group of people that you're going to get return business. But if you go and network and talk with people, and all it takes is just to talk to people when you show up, and you'll stand out.
Yeah, just show up, consistently show up. And I think that's the key too. Going once and then expecting business, don't expect that. I mean, we were lucky. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way when I hit other networking groups. Like, if you're consistently showing up, then they're going to see that you have dedication to that group or cause or whatever it might be. But the other thing too is making relationships.
That's right.
And it is not about handing business cards back and forth, which drives me bananas. I'm a huge proponent of a business card because I'm tactile, and I'm not going to remember your name unless you're super memorable and you do something that is like, boom. But I'm going to know your face, and I'm going to need your card to go back to and go, oh, yeah, that was his name, oh, Justin or Frank or whatever it was. Like, that's how I remember. But don't say, hey, let's do a one-on-one and get coffee. No. Get to know me first. Let's meet at the meetings a few times. Let's have a conversation at the networking meeting, because we might not be a good fit for each other, like as working together. You know what I'm saying? But I'm all about finding a relationship with the people that we work with. And I think that's why we've been so successful, is because you aren't just a customer. When you're working with us, we're going to get to know you. We're going to get to know what you like, what you don't like, when you need it, when you don't need it, how much you want us to harass you on things. Like, we're going to figure that out. And we want to partner with you on branding, not throw a bunch of junk at you and hope it works or doesn't work for you, you know?
Yeah. And the key and the key to being successful in networking and what you just described with whether it's with other business to business, or just your customer base, you have to make a lasting impression. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be to the ABA meeting or to the networking meeting every week, but it definitely means if you don't show up every week, you're not going to make a lasting impression, because all it
Right.
takes is one person to
Right.
show up when you're gone that makes a better impression than you do. And all of a sudden you're losing out on business because you didn't show up. And so consistency is so important. And if you can't be at the meeting, then you need to make a lasting impression. And whatever that is, whether it's a unique sales pitch, it's a blue light on a wall, like
Right.
whatever, something that does well, that people look at and
It's
like, oh man,
memorable.
it's
Yeah.
It's
memorable. And even
memorable.
if you miss a meeting here and there, you stand out in the crowd,
Right.
and you make that impression. If you have
Right.
that same mentality with your client base,
Mhm.
and you stand out, whether it's because you're personable or you give a service that's so far above and beyond that it stands out. It's the most important
And they
thing.
want to
Yeah,
use
they
you.
want to use you.
And you might not be the cheapest, but they still want to use you because they like the service that they get, and they've got that relationship that they know whatever you're going to produce for them is quality and they can trust it. And that's huge. Yeah.
And people want to support people that they like.
Yeah.
Like, they want to support, they want to see you win,
Yes,
right?
they do.
And that's what a real network is about, is finding other people that you want to see win and that want to see you win. And then we all win because there's plenty of business to go around.
Tons.
And
Right.
like in our networking group, there's multiple of the same trade.
Mhm.
But I mean, there's story after story, and you can watch previous podcasts of where another trade has helped another trade.
Yep.
It doesn't step on anyone's toes
No.
ever. And they are showing them how to do something, and they're more profitable this next year because of it. And
Right.
it's not even helping them gain customers. It's just changing a standing operating procedure
Right.
to increase business somehow that they already have,
Mhm.
or to maximize it.
Yeah.
So as we're winding down, there's a segment that we like to do, okay, towards the end of our podcast. And this segment is called 15 Minutes to Win. You've been a surgeon. You've been a business owner that had a failed business, started all over, survived stage 3C colon cancer, and didn't give up. You have a village of people around you, and now you have a successful six-figure business that is growing at a rapid pace. And I know you're probably going to double or triple it this next year when we talk to you. Like, that's the goal. Give us 15 minutes to win of what is some business nuggets that you can give us.
The biggest business nugget. That's hard to say. Learn to pivot and do it quick.
Explain.
So you're going to encounter something in your business that you're on a trajectory that you're like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. This is 100%. It looks great. It's perfect. Whether that be you've added a new hire or a new equipment, and you're like, this is the thing that's going to get us to the next level. But recognize quick when it's not, and pivot. Don't just keep pushing it, forcing it to happen because you think it should happen that way. You think that new hire should be doing the things that you want them to do, but they're not, and they never are, and they never were going to because you didn't hire correctly. Or you bought this big piece of machinery that's like, oh my gosh, I saw it at a trade show. It's going to be the best thing ever. And this is the thing that's going to get me to $1 million. But it is way more complicated than you could possibly imagine, or they touted. Like right away, recognize it, or as soon as you can, recognize it, and stop trying to push or force something to work that is never going to work and will likely take you backwards in your business. I hear it so many times from colleagues in this industry, and I'm watching it now. They're not pivoting to things like AI. They're continuing to do the old, here, let me give you a catalog, an actual paper catalog. God, I've never used those. I can't even imagine that. We get them in the mail from our wholesale distributors of what they have, and half the time I read it, half the time I don't. But they are literally giving you a catalog of things to look at for you to pick through of what you might like or might not like. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why are you not using an AI platform that says, okay, here's my client, here's what they do, and I want the top 5 best products that they can possibly use to increase their sales. How can I do that for them? And that's what we do. So if you're like, okay, I need something. Okay, boom. This is I'm going to put Taylor, I'm going to put repair your roof. Here's what they do, here's where they are. We're going to let AI do some work for us. That's pivoting. When even a year ago, that wasn't an option. I'm going to say a year. I just now started using it, so I might be behind. I don't know.
AI has not,
it's
it's only, it existed a year ago, but I would say only in the last 3 to 6 months is it really, there's a lot of bugs, and it's still super buggy.
Right,
And it was kind of went from gimmicky to a state where it's like, oh, okay, this is getting pretty useful. I can actually streamline, and especially for small business owners, it really can streamline very monotonous tasks. I mean, just with this podcast, being able to put information into a system and it spits out details, and then I can go through and verify, which would take 2 or 3 people a day or 2 in the past, and to help, it's a massive time saver for us,
right, exactly.
to be able to do that. So
learning how to not just push a dead horse along the trail.
How do you know, from your experience, how do you decide when it's a dead horse, though? When do you know it's like, hey, is this me not understanding it? How do I know that this is not working? I need to cut.
So for me, the first thing I do is start with me. Okay. Is it me? Am I the problem? If I'm the problem, I'm figuring out, and we're really doing that now, figuring out how to take me out of the equation so that the system runs better. If I'm the thing that's causing the cog in the wheel, then get me out of it. Okay. Because obviously I'm screwing this whole thing up. So, okay. But then number 2, if it's not me, is it a system? Do we need to fix a system so that things run better? Okay. But if it is an employee and you've had 1, 2, 3, 4 conversations and you're still dedicated to this person for whatever reason, and we all do it, we've all been there. Okay. You need to let that person go, but you don't. And then next thing you know, you get a phone call from a client and they no longer want to use you. You just got fired because the quality of that employee's work, the timeliness of that employee's work. Wait a minute. What do you mean you don't want to work with me? Well, then you realize I should have fired that person a long time ago. You didn't pivot fast enough. So it's those things that it's not easy to recognize immediately, but when you do recognize it, pivot. If it is more training, do the training. Take the time out of your business to do the training so that that person doesn't cost you business. That piece of equipment that you just paid $25,000, $40,000, $100,000 for, put somebody on it and have them be an expert at it. Don't let it just sit there sucking money out of you. But if it is going to do it, and if you need to get rid of it and call it a loss. Move on, and don't just sit there and go, God, I spent so much money on it, I'm not getting rid of it. Why? Right? Pivot. Move on. Because if you don't pivot to your next best thing, then you're going to be stuck with the thing that keeps you right at the same level. You don't grow, and you will probably start to decrease sales, money, life. Your stress is going to go up. So my biggest thing is pivoting. And Becky gets super irritated when I try to pivot a little too fast on something. Because I'm a shiny object girl. So I'm like, ooh, that looks good. Let's do it. And she's like, slow your roll. Let's really look at it first. But I have really gotten her to pivot a little faster with me too. So yeah.
We can absolutely relate to that.
Yeah, for sure.
And we've had countless conversations, and I just one to note, just because it goes perfectly with this, is in dealings with hiring people, for example, or having employees. And for whatever reason, you just, hey, let's give them another chance, give them another chance, give them another chance, give them another chance. And I've heard it over and over and over and over again. And I would agree now with our experiences, you have to be slow to hire, do your research, slow to buy a piece of equipment, do your research, do as much due diligence as you can first, then pull the trigger. And as soon as there's any red flags, any question, the person's gone or the equipment's gone, or because the longer it's because as soon as it's gone out of the way, you're now back to efficiency and you're going to find the next thing. And then you find that next thing. And it's like, oh, if we wouldn't have done that, we would have been wasting time over here. And you have to, and if you can do that as hard, and I say that very callously, but people are like, you went through the experience of having to let people go. It's not a fun experience.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have to have people that are willing to work and do work, and it's a business. And if you don't run it correctly, you won't be able to afford your
You won't
bills
grow.
anymore. You're not going to grow.
Right.
So it's really important to be
one of the hardest lessons to learn, because you hold on sometimes, you know, we're human and we love people.
Yeah.
And we're, you know, people, and we want to, sometimes you have to make those hard decisions quickly though.
Yeah, you do.
Recognize it, and you get better as you grow.
Yeah.
So we've covered so much. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you for asking.
Tell us and tell the audience, for people that are watching, how to get a hold of you, how to find your business,
Yes.
and all of that.
Yes. So you can find us on our website, onestoppromotionalproducts.com. And we're also on Facebook at One Stop Promotional. You can reach out to us anytime through our website, or just email us, promopros@1 stoppromotionalproducts.com. And we're available.
And we'll put all that information in the clip, in the notes, so that people can go down below and write the
Perfect.
comments. They can click on it. And it's nice thing about promotion is you can do this worldwide, technically, right?
Yeah.
Anybody in the world can contact you to make stuff for them. So
Absolutely.
And
They
what
see
is your
this.
slogan?
So basically, we put your logo on anything, then create a company store that you can shop at 2 a.m. in your underwear if you want, and get you amazing products.
I love it.
I like it.
I love it. Thank you so much
Thanks,
for
Timmy.
being.
Thank
Thanks for being
you,
here.
guys.
Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much.
it. I appreciate it.
A quick, honest request. This podcast doesn't have sponsors. There's nothing we're selling. No ad you skipped. We pay for everything ourselves. If this was worth your time, the smallest thing you can do is hit subscribe. Takes 1 second, costs nothing. That's the whole ask. Thank you. See you on the next episode.